I'm about to share something that will completely flip your perspective on what it means to be a woman in her 30s, 40s, and beyond. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror completely differently. Ladies, what if I told you that everything you've been taught about aging and attractiveness is completely backwards? What if the very thing you're worried about losing as you get older is actually what makes you absolutely magnetic to quality men? Let me tell you about my friend Sarah. She's 38, recently divorced, and was absolutely convinced her dating life was over. She kept saying things like, "All the good men want younger women," and "I've missed my window." But here's what happened that changed everything. Sarah was at a coffee shop last month, reading a book, completely lost in her own world. She wasn't trying to look cute for anyone. Her hair was in a messy bun, she had on zero makeup, and she was wearing this oversized sweater that she'd owned for probably 10 years. A guy about her age walked up and said something that shocked her. "I've been watching you for the past 20 minutes, and I'm fascinated by how completely present you are with that book. I haven't seen someone so genuinely absorbed in something in years. What are you reading?" They talked for 2 hours. He later told her that her complete comfort with herself, the way she wasn't performing for anyone, was the most attractive thing he'd ever witnessed. That conversation turned into 6 months of the most fulfilling relationship Sarah's ever had. And it all started because she had something that younger women often don't: authentic self-possession. That story isn't unique, ladies. It's happening everywhere, and today I'm going to tell you exactly why older women have advantages in love that you've never even considered. Point 1. The mystery of emotional depth. Here's the first thing that makes older women absolutely irresistible, and it's something no one talks about: emotional depth that comes from lived experience. Think about it. When you're 22, your biggest heartbreak might be a college boyfriend who ghosted you. But when you're 35, you've navigated real loss, real disappointment, real triumph. You've held a friend's hand through divorce. You've maybe lost a parent. You've celebrated friends' babies and mourned dreams that didn't work out. Men can sense this depth immediately. It's like the difference between a shallow puddle and a deep ocean. One reflects the sky prettily, but the other holds mysteries, stories, and treasures. I was talking to my male friend Marcus last week, and he said something profound. "When I talk to women in their 20s, I feel like I'm having a conversation with potential. When I talk to women in their 30s and 40s, I feel like I'm having a conversation with substance." That substance? That's your superpower. You've been through things. You've survived things. You've learned things. And that creates an emotional richness that's absolutely magnetic. Point 2. The confidence of knowing your worth. The second thing? You've stopped apologizing for taking up space. I remember being in my early 20s and constantly saying, "Sorry for everything. Sorry for having an opinion. Sorry for taking too long to decide what to order. Sorry for existing, basically." But something magical happens as you get older. You realize your thoughts matter. Your time matters. Your energy matters. And you stop giving these things away to just anyone. Men find this incredibly attractive because it signals something they crave: a woman who values herself. When you know your worth, you don't chase. You don't beg for attention. You don't twist yourself into pretzels trying to be what someone else wants. My friend Lisa, who's 42, told me about a guy who kept canceling dates last minute. Instead of making excuses for him like she would have in her 20s, she simply said, "It seems like you're not in a place where you can prioritize dating right now. Let me know when that changes." He was so shocked by her direct, non-dramatic response that he actually got his act together. He later told her that her self-respect was what made him realize she was someone worth fighting for. Point 3. The art of selective vulnerability. Here's something counterintuitive. Older women are actually more vulnerable than younger women, but in a completely different way. When you're young, you might overshare because you don't have boundaries. You'll tell your life story to anyone who'll listen because you haven't learned the value of your own experiences yet. But as an older woman, you've learned something crucial: vulnerability is a gift, not a given. You don't hand it out to everyone. You choose who gets to see your soft spots, who gets to hear your stories, who gets to witness your fears and dreams. This selective vulnerability is incredibly powerful. When you do open up, it means something. It's not just word vomit, it's intentional intimacy. Men can feel this difference. They can sense when a woman is sharing her heart versus when she's just filling silence. And the heart sharing? That's pure gold to a man who's looking for real connection. Point 4. The freedom from needing to prove anything. The fourth thing that makes older women irresistible is something beautiful. You've stopped performing. In your 20s, you might have felt like you had to prove you were smart enough, pretty enough, cool enough, interesting enough. You were building your identity, and you needed external validation to know who you were. But by your 30s and beyond, something shifts. You know who you are. You know what you like. You know what you won't tolerate. And you've stopped caring if everyone else approves. This is incredibly attractive to men because it's real. There's no facade to maintain, no character to keep up. What they see is what they get, and that authenticity is rare and precious. I know a woman named Janet who's 45. She loves terrible reality TV, has strong opinions about pineapple on pizza, and will absolutely leave a party early if she's not having fun. She doesn't pretend to like hiking to impress outdoorsy guys. She doesn't fake interest in sports to appeal to athletic men. She's unapologetically herself. And you know what? She's never been more desired. Men are drawn to her because she's not trying to be anything other than exactly who she is. Point 5. The power of your own company. Here's the fifth thing, and it's huge. Older women have learned to enjoy their own company. This might sound simple, but it's revolutionary. When you genuinely like spending time with yourself, you're not dating from desperation. You're not looking for someone to complete you or save you from loneliness. You're looking for someone to enhance an already good life. Men can sense this immediately. There's a difference between a woman who wants you and a woman who needs you. Want is attractive. Need can be suffocating. When you're comfortable alone, you bring a different energy to relationships. You're not clingy because you have your own life. You're not jealous because you have your own interests. You're not demanding because you have your own sources of fulfillment. My friend Rachel, who's 39, goes to movies alone, travels alone, and has elaborate dinner parties for herself. She's not lonely, she's self-sufficient. And that self-sufficiency is like catnip to quality men who want a partner, not a dependent. Point 6. The wisdom of weathered storms. The sixth thing is your relationship with challenges. By the time you're an older woman, you've been through some stuff. You've faced disappointments, navigated crises, survived heartbreaks, and come out the other side. This gives you something that younger women often don't have: perspective. You know that most problems are temporary. You know that you can handle whatever comes your way. You know that the world won't end if someone doesn't text you back. Men find this incredibly attractive because it means you won't create drama where there isn't any. You won't turn molehills into mountains. You've learned to pick your battles, and you've learned which hills are worth dying on. I remember my friend Karen telling me about a guy who was stressed about a work presentation. Instead of offering to fix it or getting anxious along with him, she simply said, "You've handled bigger things than this. You'll figure it out." Her calm confidence in his abilities was exactly what he needed. That's the power of wisdom. You don't absorb other people's anxiety because you know it doesn't help. You offer steady presence instead of frantic energy. Point 7. The art of unhurried intimacy. The seventh thing is something beautiful. Older women understand that good things take time. In your 20s, you might rush into physical intimacy or emotional intimacy because you think that's what creates connection. But as you get older, you learn something powerful. Anticipation is half the pleasure. You're not in a hurry to sleep with someone because you know that sexual connection is better when there's emotional foundation. You're not in a rush to say, "I love you," because you know those words carry weight. You're not trying to fast-track to relationship status because you understand that the best relationships unfold naturally. This patience is incredibly attractive to men because it shows you value quality over speed. You're not looking for just any relationship, you're looking for the right relationship. And when you do finally open up physically and emotionally, it means something. It's not just the next logical step, it's a conscious choice. And that makes it infinitely more powerful. Point 8. The confidence of having options. The eighth and final thing is something that might surprise you. Older women often have more dating options than they realize. And this confidence changes everything. Here's what I mean. When you're younger, you might think you have to settle for whoever shows interest because you're not sure when the next opportunity will come. But as an older woman, you've learned something crucial. You'd rather be alone than with the wrong person. This isn't because you're picky, it's because you know what good relationships look like. You've seen friends in amazing partnerships. Maybe you've been in great relationships yourself, and you know the difference between settling and choosing. Men can sense when a woman has options, even if she's not flaunting them. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you respond to interest, the way you're willing to walk away from situations that don't serve you. My friend Diana, who's 41, was dating a guy who kept making plans and then canceling. Instead of chasing him or making excuses, she simply started making other plans. She didn't announce it dramatically, she just quietly filled her calendar with people and activities that actually showed up for her. When he realized she wasn't sitting around waiting for him, suddenly his schedule cleared up. But by then, Diana had realized something important. She deserved consistency, and she wasn't willing to accept less. Ladies, I want you to really hear this. Every year you get older, you don't lose attractiveness, you gain a different kind of magnetism. You become more selective, more authentic, more grounded, and more powerful. The women who worry about aging out of desirability are missing the most beautiful truth. You're not aging out of anything. You're aging into your power. You're not competing with younger women because you're not playing the same game anymore. They're playing checkers, you're playing chess. They're worried about being chosen, you're doing the choosing. The right man, the man who's worthy of the woman you've become, doesn't want a girl. He wants a woman. He wants someone with stories, with depth, with standards, with boundaries, with dreams that have been tested by reality and have survived. He wants someone who knows the difference between love and infatuation, between compatibility and chemistry, between potential and reality. That woman? That's you? Here's my pro tip for you. Stop focusing on what you think you've lost and start celebrating what you've gained. Your confidence, your wisdom, your ability to spot red flags from a mile away, your refusal to settle for breadcrumbs, your understanding that love should enhance your life, not complete it. These aren't consolation prizes for getting older. These are superpowers that come with experience. And if you found this helpful, I want you to do something for me. Share this video with another woman who needs to hear this message. Because somewhere out there is a woman who's looking in the mirror and focusing on what she thinks is wrong instead of celebrating what's right. Be the friend who reminds her of her worth. Be the voice that tells her she's not aging out of love, she's aging into it. And don't forget to subscribe because I've got so much more to share with you about embracing the incredible woman you're becoming. Until next time, remember, you're not getting older, you're getting better. And the right person will see that immediately.